Then we're going to where two or three are gathered in my name.
Yeah.
Let me return now to the three stairs by which you must go if you would escape from the river and not drown, but reach the living water to which you are invited. By these stairs you must go if you would have me with you, for then I dwell in your souls by grace and be with you on your journey. If you would have progress, then you must be thirsty, because only those who are thirsty are called. Let anyone who is thirsty come to me and drink. Those who are not thirsty will not persevere in this journey. Their weariness or pleasure will make them stop. They cannot be bothered with carrying the vessel that would make it possible for them to draw the water. And though they cannot travel alone, they do not care for company. So at the first sight of any prick of persecution which they consider the enemy, they turn back. They are afraid because they are alone. If they were with company, they would not be afraid, and if they had climbed the three stairs, they would be secure because they would not be alone. You must be thirsty then, and you must gather yourself together, as he said, either two or three or more. Why do he say two or three? Because there are not two without three, nor three without two. One alone is excluded from my companionship, since I cannot be in the midst of someone who has no companionship. Those who are wrapped up in selfish love of themselves are alone, mere nothings, because they are cut off from my grace, from charity for their neighbor, and once deprived of me through their own fault, they turn to nothingness. For I alone am who I am. So those who are alone, those who are wrapped up in selfish love of themselves, are neither taken account of by my truth, nor acceptable to me. He says then, if two or three are gathered in my name, I shall be in their midst. I told you that two are not with three, nor three without two, and so it is. You know that all the commandments of the law are comprised in two, to love me above all things, and to love your neighbor as your very self. And without these two, none of the commandments can be kept. This is the beginning, the middle, and the end of the commandments of the law. These two cannot be gathered together in my name without three, that is, without gathering the three powers of the soul: memory, understanding, and will. The memory holds on to my blessing and my goodness to the soul. Understanding contemplates the unspeakable love I have shown you through the meditation of my only begotten Son, whom I have set before your mind's eye, for you to contemplate in him the fire of my charity. And the will finally is joined then to know that and desire me, your final goal. When these three powers of the soul are gathered together, I am in their midst by grace, and as soon as you are filled with my love and love of your neighbor, you will find yourself in the companionship of a multitude of solid virtues. Then the soul's appetite to be ready to be thirsty for virtue, my honor, and the salvation of souls. Even every other thirst is now exhausted and dead, and you travel securely without any slavish fear. You climb the first step, that of desire. Once desire is stripped of selfish love, you rise above yourself and above passing things. What you decide to keep, you love and hold not apart from me, but with me. That is, with holy fear and love of virtue. Then you find that you have climbed the second stair. This is the enlightenment of the mind. You would find yourself reflected in the warm-hearted love I have shown you in Christ crucified as in a mirror. Then you find peace and quiet, for memory is filled with my love and no longer empty. You know that when something is empty, it resounds if you strike it, but not so when it is full. So when the memory is filled with light from understanding and the overflowing love of the will, even though troubles and pleasures of the world strike it, it will not resound with inordinate gladness or impatience, for it will be filled with me, and I am all good. After you have climbed, you will find that you have gathered together, for once reason has taken possession of the three stairs, which are the three powers of the soul. They are gathered together in my name when the two, that is, Love for me and love for your neighbor are gathered together, the memory for holding, the understanding for seeing, the will for loving and gathering together. You find that I am your companion, and I am your strength and your security. You discover the company of the virtues, and because I am in the midst, you walk securely and are secure. Then you are roused with eager longing, thirsty to follow the way of truth that leads to the fountain of living water. You thirst for my honor, your own, and your neighbor's. Salvation makes you long for the way, for without the way you could never reach what you thirst for. So you walk on, carrying your heart like a vessel, empty of every desire and every earthly disorderly love. But no sooner is your vessel empty than it is filled, for nothing can remain empty if it is not filled with something material. It is filled with air. Just so, the heart is a vessel that cannot remain empty. As soon as you have emptied it of all those transitory things you loved inordinately, it is filled with air. That is, with gentle, loving, divine love that brings you to the water of grace. And once you have arrived there, you pass through the gate, Christ crucified, to enjoy that loving water. For now you find yourself in me, the sea of peace. When you have climbed the staircase, that is, when you are gathered together in my name, you are immediately thirsty for the living water. So you move forward and cross over the bridge, following the teachings of my truth. Who is that bridge? You run after his voice who calls out to you. And I told you earlier that he was inviting you when he cried out in the temple, "Let whoever is thirsty come to me and drink, for I am the fountain of living water." And I have explained what he meant and how he should be understood, so that you might better know the abundance of my love and the confusion of those who seem to delight in running along the devil's way that invites them to deadly water.